stuff.
Yeah. So, John, what have you been working on?
Same one. The dual narrative, nonlinear, reverse time.
I'm on the second draft of my Hallmark script. I thought I had all the beats good and everything, and I couldn't believe how short the script came in as. So I'm now on my second draft, putting in more beats and trying to expand all of the other beats. And so I've still got more pages to write because one producer wanted 105 pages.
Well, my script was 116, too long, and I got it back down to 111. I tell you, the person who really helps me is I read a lot of Linda Seeger stuff. I don't know if you ever read her stuff. She's the absolute best. It's very easy reads. Her books are about 230 pages a piece. And she's helped me more probably than anybody else. Linda Aronson is good too, but Linda Aronson is a little all over the place in her books. Yeah.
So Linda Segal spelled S-E-G-A-L?
S-E, hold on, I'll get the book for a second. I'll be back in a second. I gotta find it, hold on. I've read by her. It's S-E-G-E-R, Dr. Linda Seeger. And this is the third book. I don't know if you can see it. It's tough with the thing going in the background.
Advanced screenwriting, okay.
Yeah, that's the one. I also read one. She has one on just subtext. And it's very good. The whole book's on nothing but how to write subtext. She has another one called Taking Your Script to the Next Level. She is, she's a muse. They bring her in to write, rewrite screenplays for major companies. She has a site. I think she charges anywhere from $3,500 to $30,000 to rewrite your screenplay for you. Yeah, she's big time. She's written a couple too, but not much.
And so you said there was another one, Linda Aronson?
A-R-O-N-S-E-N. Now she's more into the modern, she wrote one, I believe it's called The Modern Screenplay, writing the modern screenplay or the 20th century screenplay, 21st century screenplay. And she's one that talks about how to write dual narratives, multi-narratives, non-linear. Like if you write a dual narrative non-linear, you should actually open with the second scene, second act, turning point. So that's what I had to get down when I did it. So she's very good. She talks about linear too, but you know, her stuff wouldn't fit into the Hallmark movies at all. They're too. She's more on the edges. They're not. She's not this straight line. So
the script you're working on. So you're not writing it. You're editing it now. Then.
Yeah, I'm pretty much done. Well, I'm going to rewrite the ending. So what I'm doing is I took all the dialogue up to page 107, the last 3 scenes, because I changed the ending. So I put a prop in, what they call Chekhov's gun. I don't know if you've ever heard that.
No.
Chekhov's gun is when you put something in the movie early, or in the screenplay early, and you bring it up every now and then. And most people you could do it 2 ways. Either people expect something big out of it, but they don't know how. Or people will forget about it, and it just pops up again at the end and plays a big part. People say, oh yeah, that was it. So like in my thing, there are 6 knives hanging. However, all 6 knives are taken by the last scene. But the person who is the heroine, there's a heroine and a heroine. The person who's a heroine is a Pulitzer Prize winning author. who has writer's block, and she will. She doesn't want to. She's scared to write her next one because she doesn't think she can live up to the Pulitzer Prize. And her fans give her. She has tons of fans who would want her to write the sequel. They give her a knife that matches the knife in her first book she wrote called Murder at Midnight. There was a murder weapon in there, which is that. And it shows up in the first scene. It's mentioned again later on, but because there's no knives, you think she's going to end up getting killed at the end, but she pulls that one out. And it hasn't been in since the beginning. So, and in the end, she actually turns the whole murder thing into her next book. And the lady said, that was brilliant, using the same knife that you used the first one, but you had no choice, really, So basically, I put that in there. And then I'm going back and forth, which I had the hero die because he's really a bad guy that turns good, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So sometimes and he was a pretty bad guy, supposedly. He loses his memory. So he has no idea if he's bad or good, but he is a bad guy. He finds out at the end. But with that kind of guy, you're not sure, should I keep him at the end? Because he really should go to jail for the things he did. At the same point, if I kill him off after he does an heroic act, because after he loses his memory, his whole thing is, was I a good person or was I a bad person? Trying to find his identity. So he can live with the fact that killing him off, he can live with the fact he died a good person, even though he can't remember he was a bad person before that. Okay? So basically, that's it. I'm going to throw a quick tea on.
Okay.
I also want to. I got bit by something outside, and my wrists, my arms, my wrist, up my arms, everything got all infected. And I went to the doctor today, and I just scratched it down there. I want to put a little something on that too.
Okay.
I'll be right back in a minute. I'm a tea nut now. I never used to drink tea. Now I drink like 6 cups a day. Ever since I started going on a health kick. I don't think that's healthy either.
We got somebody new coming on. Samantha.
We had a Samantha one time try to come on and it didn't come on, remember?
Oh, so she had a problem before.
Yeah, I remember that. Did you say you used to get like 8, 9 people on these things sometimes?
Yeah, we had quite a few when I started back. So Samantha, unmute yourself and tell us about yourself.
I think she doesn't have video. Audio.
Oh, no, she said she's eating right now. But maybe you can just tell us about yourself a bit, Samantha.
I don't think she has audio on either.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes. I've just started screenwriting about 2 years ago, and I'm working with a producer in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and he's using one of the scripts for like a monologue, which will end up being a PSA for sex trafficking with the Bowling Green charity.
Wow, that's great.
And then I have a couple official selections, and like I said, I just started this a little bit over 2 years ago, so I might be headed in the right direction or maybe not, but anyways, that's kind of where I'm at.
Well, if you're working with a producer, that's great, because that's great to put on your resume that he's using your script for the PSA. And how did you find out about us?
I'm not sure. Maybe Facebook, or I'm on the ISA local site. We were doing meetups once a month. pre COVID-19, of course. And then there's some other Facebook groups I'm part of, so maybe I just kind of stumbled upon you, I guess.
Yes, because I have posted a lot on Facebook, at least 10 different groups, and LinkedIn and Reddit. So we're supposed to have 3 more people, but they're not here yet. So when John comes back, I'll tell you about what somebody said on Facebook that I thought was interesting, getting people to help him with his script. I was telling John that I'm on the second draft of a spec Hallmark Christmas mystery script. So I thought I had all the beats well done, and when I finished the first draft, it came in so short that I had to go back to the next draft, second draft, put in more beats, and I still have to expand it more because one of the producers that's looking for Hallmark Christmas scripts, she said it had to be 105 pages. So that's what I'm planning to put it at.
I'm back.
So John, I think it was yesterday, I met a gentleman, I can't remember his name right now, on Facebook on one of the script, I think it was into the script groups, and he got an assignment to write a car movie, car against car type of thing. And then he was asking people in the group if I guess he had to put in different kinds of well, of course, different kinds of scenes and beats, and his producer said he didn't want really any indoor scenes, and what kind of outdoor scenes would be suitable for a bunch of people to be out there working or whatever. And they were talking about garden centers and stuff like that, and I said, like a heavy equipment rental place, where they rent big trucks or bulldozers and that kind of stuff. So that was interesting, getting people in a Facebook group to help you write your script. But with my Hallmark movie, like, I've watched so many Christmas movies, and then through some of the various websites that I've looked through, I found a gentleman who's written a number of Hallmark scripts, and then he posted his script right on his website. So I printed off the latest one so I could figure out what kind of Christmas activities that were in there, because they said they want so many different kind of Christmas activities going on, and of course it has to be family friendly with no swearing or sex or anything like that. So Samantha, put on your unmute yourself.
I have a Christmas script that a producer in Canada is going to look at, but it's like a 30-minute thing.
Do you know what production company it is, or
Just
where they are?
Just an independent person.
And where in Canada? Toronto or
Toronto.
Vancouver? Oh, in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I also run a horror writers and horror filmmakers Zoom meeting the fourth Monday of the month, and one of the gentlemen had worked for what was it, Chester Perlmutter. He said they've done a number of Hallmark movies. So, and then it says that they have one of their production locations is in Hamilton, Ontario, where I live. So I'll have to find out where that is once I get my script finished to contact them.
My Christmas script, like, it could either be live action or animation, so it kind of has that option, because if it was live action, it could require some special effects, because I have like a box that bounces up and down, and like dust that like floats into the sky, so it very well could be either animated or live action, but animation usually costs way lots more, so unless it's a college, college kids that want to pick up and produce it or something like that. But
because here in Canada we have Sheridan College. They have a big animation course, their program of education, and I hear a lot of their students get picked up by California for a lot of the animation studios there. So it's very highly regarded, the Sheridan College. So where have you had your training in screenwriting?
none.
Well, you must have read books and taken courses.
No,
Really?
absolutely
Absolutely nothing?
correct.
So how would you even know how to format it if you've never read anything?
I then found a script writing software.
See, well, that's learning something about.
So the first one I did was just in Word, and then I found a screenwriting program, and so two of them actually. Story Touch, which no longer has any support, and then Trembly is the other one, and they're free, so there's no investment cost there.
What was the second one called?
Trembly, Trebly, and you can
Must be pretty good.
you can actually save your file in Final Draft, because there was one competition I entered and they required Final Draft, and you could use Trembly to save it in that format. It took a little like figuring it out, but definitely it does do, save as a Final Draft if you need that format versus just a PDF.
Because John, what is it that you use?
I use Final Draft. I did use Faden. I still have that on. I like certain aspects, but I like Final Draft better.
Well, that's supposed to be the industry favorite, it seems.
Yeah, but I just think that's because a lot of them get money back from it. They get endorsements. It's like if you go on Faden site, they paid. What was the one that was just out? The one with the water, where the woman falls in love with the water monster.
Oh yeah.
They paid him to write in that. He wrote in that, and then he put on there. It was completely written in that.
You don't mean Aquaman?
No. It's not a superhero one. It's the one with what's it? The guy who writes the horror movies normally. Benito.
Yeah. I went to his show in Toronto.
Torres, I think is the last
Yeah.
name. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a t-shirt and I got a voodoo doll and
He's a good writer, but they paid him to do that. He wrote in Final Draft everything else, and all of a sudden he wrote in Fade-In, and it's on the first page of the thing. They paid him to do that, basically. So it's just what you're comfortable with. I just been using Final Draft for so long, I'm comfortable. I may upgrade it to the latest one. I don't know.
so what are you thinking of doing for your next one, John? Your
My
next script.
I have a police mystery thriller and set in the 1980s, in the riots of the 1980s. I didn't want to send them in these riots, so I sent them in the 1980s. It's about murders that happened during the riots and are covered up by the riots.
In what
They
city?
look like what?
In what city?
New York.
New York.
The end of the 1970s, beginning 1980s, it was just as bad as it is now. So you could use them and you could get the same themes that you would use now back then, and yet it doesn't seem as people would be questioning now, shouldn't I write on this, or should I, that doesn't seem, because it's back then. So it's either that one, or I got one a murder mystery that happens during not Katrina. What was the one that hit Houston? What was the one that hit Houston a couple of years ago?
I don't
They
know.
find the body when the water goes down. They find the body and it just gets thrown in the morgue with all the other ones, but it has its fingerprints cut off and no identification. So it's actually from another state. So
I know Katrina happened when I was making my third horror movie, The Marina Monster with the Shark.
right. You want to write a horror movie? Write 2020. That's what somebody on Facebook, but not Facebook. Yeah, it was Facebook put today. 2020, the movie. Script by Stephen King. Directed by the guy Torres and what's the other guy? The guy who the guy who wrote The Hated Eight and all those other ones, Pulp Fiction, Tarantino.
Oh yes.
And then it had the director was the Torres guy. No, they were the directors. The writer was Tarantino and Torres was the director. They just made it up because they figured that would probably scare most people. So.
Well, in one of the news feeds that I watch, it said that a woman got her leg all bitten up by a large sturgeon fish over 3 feet long. So
Where?
after making 2 water movies, I'll never go in the water again. I'm even afraid of bathtubs and indoor pools, outdoor pools. Because you never know what can come out through those little
I used to have a
holes.
dream when I was a kid that there were snakes in the water for some reason, in swimming pools, that they used to come out through the vents and stuff.
That's right.
Yeah. Was it a good dream?
And then you see pictures of alligators and mooses in pools. Plus,
I did see the most amazing picture today, though. An alligator with its mouth completely open and a little bird in there cleaning its teeth. And there's a type of bird in Florida that actually cleans alligators' teeth. They know the bird, they'll keep their mouths open, and it's inside its mouth cleaning its teeth. And that's how the bird lives too, because it picks off what's ever left.
So it's the dental service?
I guess so. Economies, what do you call it? The environment's amazing. It really is. The
well,
ecosystem.
I was in my dentist chair getting my teeth cleaned when I came up with the idea for my second horror movie, Vampire Dentist. So I said, well, who looks after vampires' teeth? It'd have to be the vampire dentist. So Like 2 years later, the movie came out. So that could be a great children's animated movie about alligators and bird dentists. You know, all the different health providers for the creatures in the swamp. You know, because they're always looking for bizarre things, don't they? Disney likes all different kinds of interesting nature stuff for kids.
Yeah, that would be a good one, actually.
But
Actually, imagine what Ron Howard and Netflix just came out with their second topic that you could submit screenplays to. Of course, I have nothing in this genre. It's, what is it? Human interest with competition. So they want something like Chariots of Fire or something like that.
so they want some kind of big family movie.
No, the first one was family. This says human interest with competition. It doesn't have to be family oriented.
Oh, with
But it has to
competition.
be competition, yeah. Has to be competition. It's a human interest. Good. It's a feel good story.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's Ron Howard. So,
And
although it's Netflix, they usually make things pretty hard. So,
so Ian, you have to unmute yourself.
we're getting up there. We got 4.
Hi there.
Yeah, Ian, I
Oh,
had
that's
sent
better.
you a lot of forwarded you a lot of emails.
Yes, thank you so much. Lots of stuff to follow up on, my dear.
And then tomorrow is the last day for the children's conference. So
Okay.
I haven't been watching all of the webinars, but they're going to be on their website for the month of August. So I'll have to catch up on some of the ones I missed, but
Oh, good.
very interesting how people, you know, started their writing and their editing process and things like that.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm working on, my area is sort of overcoming ADHD, and I've written a biography that's doing quite well. It's called Stirring My Soul to Sing, Overcoming ADHD Through Song. I'm a musician, singer, and so it's doing quite well. And I'm taking about 4 or 5 of those items and writing a play, sort of some different themes that I talk about in the book, and so that's coming along. And then I want to do a children's book as well. So still kind of rethinking that one, you know, but thanks, Christine, for all those great emails, lots of stuff to follow up on. So I'll call you this week. We can, you know, sort of talk about some of those emails and how I can, you know, better zoom into that right now. We just got back from the cottage, so had a good weekend with the family, which was really good. So it was good, yeah. So if I'm a little spacey.
Did you drive through the rainstorm?
No, we left Friday, and our cottage is in the Kawarthas, so just outside of Peterborough. So we left Friday about 12:30, and we were up at the cottage by about 2:15, which is the way I love to go. And 407 is, I love 407. So, because it just bypasses Toronto, all the stop and go, you know, stuff. And so for 2.5 hours, we were there nonstop, which is just wonderful. So, yeah, but we had the storm last night, like it came through. And then I see when we got here, I had to pick up all the paper that blew off my, out of my blue box. So, yeah, so I got some of that stuff. So, yeah. So, Samantha, where are you based?
New Orleans, Louisiana.
Oh, wow. Nice. How's the weather down there?
It's been sunny all day.
Uh-huh.
No thunderstorm today, which is unusual.
Right, right. Okay. And John, where are you?
I'm in Yardley, PA, right outside Philadelphia. It's clear. We get lightning
okay.
late at night a couple times, but that was it.
Nice. I love your background. It's one of my favorite things is when we're up north is to see the northern lights, and they look actually just very much like that, you know. So it's just being Canadian, you know, we take all those iconic northern elements as much as we can. So, and especially having a cottage or spend time in the Muskokas, which is really where you can see them the best. I spent a lot of time in the Muskokas, which is the best, you know, it's cottage country for a lot of Southern Ontario people. And the Northern Lights up there is just spectacular. So love all those colors in the background that are just, you know, flashing. Very good.
And Samantha, there's some conference that's coming to your town. I can't remember if it's BoucherCon, if it's coming next year, the World Mystery Conference, because this year it was supposed to be in California. I'm so happy I got my refund check for the conference. And then I turned around and I bought their online conference. So, of course, it was a lot cheaper. So that's 2 days in October for the mystery conference. And next year, the horror writers are going to be in Denver, Colorado. I didn't like Denver at all when I went there in 2018 for the romance writers conference. I couldn't get any bus tours or anything out of there to look at the mountains. Like here I am, you know, at the mountains, and there wasn't anything available to get out of the city. Like I came in early to do that, and the only thing I did was take their free trolley ride around the town. But I was in New Orleans for the Horror Writers Conference. I think it was in 2013, and that was great. And I went to that big cemetery that I couldn't believe how walled it was, and you had to be out by a certain time.
Yeah, that's all the cemeteries.
And I went on a great like a nighttime ghost tour where they tell you about all of the ghosts at the various houses and historical sites. And I went on a boat tour, what is it, around the bayous and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, so that was, I really enjoyed it, but it was really hot. I think it was August.
Oh, yeah.
And I was there.
August and September are like the hottest.
That's probably why they got a cheap deal for the conference. And the
Yes.
hotel that I was at, they had a swimming pool on the roof. And that was great because I'm a swimmer. So it was great. I can't remember if I went first thing in the morning or at night, but it was great doing laps up there and even look onto the city from it. It was an old style hotel.
You said you go to romance novel conventions. My godfather's wife goes to those because she's a romance novelist. Do you happen to know Elise Flynn? Does that name sound familiar?
Oh, is she
No.
from Canada or?
No, she's in Seattle, Washington.
No, it was the largest convention I've ever been to, over 2,000 ladies. And I think there's only like 3 or 4 men. So I was really surprised how many there were. Like we took over 2 convention places one right across the street from each other. We had to go back and forth across the street to the various convention rooms. Like it was so much walking to do. And they had a pool in one of the hotels, an outdoor pool. And that was, I think, in August too. It was really hot. Well, you know, these conventions, they have to try to go when it's the off season. But the one in California, which I was disappointed, you know, I can't go because of COVID and they canceled it, was going to be in October. But I wanted to go to the wineries, to some of the wineries near Sacramento, because I've written a pilot script for a TV series, and I've adapted the first script to a novella. So I'm editing that. So hopefully that'll be ready soon. And because I can't travel internationally, I'm trying to go. I didn't go last week, but hopefully this week I can go to one of the wineries in the Niagara region here in Ontario. And,
Right on.
And looking for places where to hide bodies or to kill people. And then I put it on Facebook and LinkedIn. I give a little hint about the wineries, but I don't name them. But I say what city they are or what street that they are. And I says, well, let me know if you can guess who they are.
That's good. Have you seen Knives Out? Have you seen the movie Knives Out, Christine?
No.
It's really good. And that would be an idea, like writing something like that in a winery, you know, with an established sort of family and all of that kind of stuff would be a really good mystery or suspense thriller. You know, so go and watch the movie and then and see if that inspires you. It's really, really good.
Yeah, Daniel Craig did a really good job playing the Southern gentleman.
Yeah, and also Christopher Plummer's in that.
Yeah.
He's still alive.
Yeah, he is. He's like, you know, he's getting up there. He's almost 90. So but I won't spoil the plot for you, but it's really, really good. And the other supporting cast is excellent. But sort of that kind of theme in a winery, Christine, that'd be really cool, you know?
And where is that one set? Or what country? That US?
It's like a patriarch, a very wealthy patriarch that is just about, I think he was a mystery writer. He was a mystery writer, and is, you know, has been very successful. And then he's coming up into like his 80s, 90s, and so he passes all, you know, the extra stuff, television rights, all that to one of the sons. Okay, and so
Yeah, don't tell me anymore. I'll watch
okay.
it. But
Yeah.
It has to be someplace in the South, I guess, if
That's
Daniel
what I
Craig
think
was the
too.
detective, and had the Southern, you know, Southern
Yeah,
American accent.
that's right, because there is a Southern drawl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
wasn't there a television series about a wine family out on the West Coast?
Not West Coast. Falcon's Crest was sort of based on that, or long time ago, the 70s, 80s.
Yes.
Yeah. But there's so much more you could pick up from that. Like watch Knives Out, and then you'll, you know, think about it. You're a deep thinker. You like to analyze stuff and pull it apart and everything. And there, especially with all those amazing wineries that we have around here, right? You know, so like Peller Estates and all those others, you know, that have
Yes.
had
Yeah.
lots of, there's lots of intrigue.
John's background is in football, and I was saying to him when he first came on that I'd been thinking of a football script idea for 6 months, and then I started working on it. At one of these webinars, more ideas came up to me, and so it's going to be football and aliens, and so I've already started to write the script. And I've ordered a bunch of movies from the library on football, and also the Dummy's Guide to Football, because I really don't know anything about football other than, the few things that I saw in high school. Like, I don't watch football. I don't even think my husband likes football. But anyways, when you're desperate, you watch those things when you're a sportsaholic. I don't watch any sports on television. I just watch so many, right now it's either Murder, She Wrote or Columbo. That's weekly, and then all the Hallmark movies. For 2 weeks they had every night Hallmark Christmas movies.
Goodness.
And they've already said
Wow. I can't
that
watch
there's,
Christmas in July. I'm sorry. It's just,
well, when you're
it
writing
spoils it.
one,
What?
when you're writing one, you have to
Yeah.
watch it.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
they've already said that they're going to start their Christmas movies on November the 8th.
Oy.
The Hallmark Christmas movies. And then they have, of course, their romance movies. They have for the month of August, every Saturday night, they have some romance movie. And the last one I saw was Love in the Air. And it had to do with a guy who had a balloon business, taking people up in a balloon. So that was interesting. And I was thinking, I wonder how much they did in green screen, because, taking people up in a
Right.
balloon, insurance wise,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
because they've had
Wow.
accidents,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
because they were taking them over Lake Tahoe.
Wow. That's interesting.
And I'm thinking, because just from the insurance point of view, because you got the water, and if the balloon goes into the water, and
Oh, yeah.
you have to have a safety boat or something.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they probably green screened it. I just recently got onto Amazon Stick. So trying out all these different, movie shows, or like television shows, or television networks and all that. And so they'll let you try, some different ones like Hulu, which I'd never watched that before, or Sundance Festival, or Sundance thing. And some were good, some weren't that great. And but it's good because like we have Bell 5, so you get the good package, so like Crave TV and a lot of the other stuff. So it's been good, and I've been watching a fair amount of drama, and just trying to sort of see, okay, this goes to here, or I like this, and sort of looking at plot and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so it's been good. And it just, well, the one reason I wanted it was I wanted to see Hamilton, so I saw it on Disney Plus, which was spectacular. I've watched it like 3 or 4 times. It's amazing. It's just, I've known the music for a long time, so so I had to see how it was staged and put together. So yeah, so I'm trying out some of these other other packages, or other stations that we don't usually get up here in Canada, right? So yeah, so that was kind of like the beginning of July.
And that's one thing I was surprised that new streaming or whatever didn't come on during the COVID, or I guess maybe with production and people being confined in offices and that, they couldn't put any of that stuff together.
Absolutely. I just turned on the thing here. Okay, so what else?
Is Ontario or any of the other parts of Canada starting back production? Because we just started in New Orleans. They just started like this week.
Yeah, I've heard just in the last couple of weeks that Toronto has started up again. Have you, Christine? And I've heard some Hamilton productions maybe starting. Like Hamilton, our city of Hamilton here is really big for what was they were doing a lot of television shows.
Well, The Good Witch. They
Right.
have a lot of Good Witch shows, productions in Dundas. There's a
Yeah,
little town just outside, just
Hamilton.
west of us, and
Yeah.
it's a nice little town, and they do a
Yeah.
lot of Christmas movies and Hallmark movies.
Yeah, a
and,
lot of Hallmark movies have been done there.
and I guess
I grew up
Lifetime
there.
movies.
That's my real home is Dundas. That's where I grew up there. I love that place. So
But a gentleman who was on our other script Zoom meetings, Jason Bork, I checked on his Facebook page because I haven't seen him for a couple weeks, and he's directing a Hallmark movie in Vancouver. So they've
good.
started up again. And the last time I had seen him on the Zoom meeting, he had hoped to be directing a movie soon. So
Yeah, I thought I heard him say that the last time when the first time when I was on, and thought him said that he was waiting to hear if he was going to be in production.
yes,
So
and it's called A Christmas Tree Grows in Brooklyn.
oh wow. I love that story. A tree grows in Brooklyn. I read that book and then the movie is okay, but the book is so much better.
So it'll be interesting how they've changed it. A
Yeah,
Christmas Tree Grows in Brooklyn.
and especially in Vancouver, that's really gonna be interesting to see how are they gonna, interpret that. So, but hey, there's another. See, that's Toronto and Vancouver are very big, film sites across Canada. So, and also the Maritimes, right? Like, and there's a lot of film production in the Maritimes as well. I was just reading an article on that just a week ago.
And it used to be in Montreal too, but I haven't heard much about Montreal.
No,
And
yeah,
Sudbury, north of us, they would give a lot of tax credits because I know Samantha, when I see some of the movies, I see a lot of Louisiana tax credits.
Yes, they still have them. It's just not as much as they initially were.
And what kind of films, do they do down in Louisiana? All types?
Yeah, pretty much everything. Like one of the things that they're filming is like a TV show with the guy from Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah.
The guy who's on that film production crew. Matthew McConaughey comes down here with a lot of movies. Kate Hudson's been in a couple movies that have been filmed in New Orleans or,
Great.
surrounding areas.
Yeah.
Those are two of the ones recently, like two of the more celebrities, but there's a few other celebrities that come down here, but there's like, there's supposed to be 19 productions going on in the next 2 weeks.
That's great. Good to hear.
Back into the works after COVID, even though we're still kind of fighting with the numbers a little bit. 19 said that they would move ahead, so.
That's amazing.
So John, is anything happening in your neck of the woods for filming?
I really don't know. Don't know. There's the
Christine, where do we go on to see what's new? Is it on what website will we see to go on to see what's shooting in Hamilton?
I don't know if
city
the film department has.
Film department, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if under economic development, the film
That's
department.
that's what I was thinking. Yeah. Hmm.
But I know in Toronto, I can't remember what, because when I was looking for jobs under the Directors Guild in Toronto, they would have a listing. I can't remember under what Ontario website it was, and it would tell
Okay.
you what
So would they
films were.
cross-reference? They'd give you a
Yes,
reference then? Okay.
I'll have to
Okay.
look into that again.
Yeah. Well, with everything, so different for TIFF and the New York Film Festival, and it's interesting that a lot of these film festivals are, going to pick up the idea of doing the drive-in, right? So I was just reading an article about that, just sort of like, oh wow, and it's like we only have one that I think is still in operation. Is that the one in just in Waterdown? Is that the one out in Waterdown? Is that one still out?
Well, there's supposed to be one in Stony Creek off of
So,
Ridge Road or
yeah,
Mud Street.
yeah. So be interesting to see what's what's available in Toronto to do a drive-in.
I think there's one in Oakville near the
Okay.
403. I've
Oh yeah.
driven by it on the 403 towards the airport.
Oh
You
wow.
can see it.
It used to be, but I don't know if it's still in operation, So, but it looks like a whole lot of the good films with TIFF are going to be on, online. I wonder what they're going to be charging though for fees. I haven't I just got back, so I haven't had a chance to see what they're going to be. What are their fees going to be like to, be a part of the festival?
It's not cheap.
No.
No, I couldn't believe how expensive it was.
Still, you went on to for this year? You went on to look this year? Because I
Yes,
know in
because
other years it's been really expensive.
yeah, especially for being online, it was very
Yeah.
expensive. You'd think
Wow.
they'd cut it right down. And
Yeah, more people.
yeah, and the Canscape organization that I sent you information about, the Canadian Children's
Oh
Authors
yeah, I saw
Illustrated,
that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and their one-day conference in October, they're having it virtual, and they're charging the same price as if it was live. And they said they have to do that because they don't get any money from any funders.
And they don't have any sponsors.
No.
Oh, wow.
But like this what was it, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 5-day conference with Skibby, well, Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators, 5 days. It was $100 US, which I thought was good.
Yeah, that's reasonable. That's reasonable. Yeah.
And then the
I'm going to be
2
on
day,
I've been asked to be a speaker at the ADHD International Conference.
oh great.
And yeah, it's going to be in November. And so I'm going to be not one of the key speakers, but I'm going to be one of the session speakers talking about the book. And I'm going to do a little bit of a 20-minute sort of like a voice lesson. And then we're going to take something that is like everybody knows, like Doe a Deer from The Sound of Music. So then I'll give some instruction on how to sing that, put some breaths in there, and then I'm going to have a little bit of a lecture. So I think I have 45 minutes to do. So they're going to pre-tape that, and so that'll be really interesting.
So the BoucherCon that was supposed to be in California, that was $200 US for the conference.
Yeah.
And now they've gone online and it's only $55 for 2 days.
See,
So
that's the way to go. That's what they
yes,
should do, and that's what TIFF should do also. They should like under like even $50, $60, I'd be willing to do. But if it's anything over like $100, $150, forget it.
No, I can't believe how expensive it was, but it's a lot
And they
more.
have all those incredible sponsors too. So that's lousy.
Because I know,
I'll have to look. I'll look tomorrow, but I haven't had a chance to.
I know in past years it was like $700 to go to
Yeah,
TIFF
that's you told me those kinds. Somebody else has told me
Wow.
those fees. That's
for
outrageous.
for you know, it's
Well,
10
partly
days.
because you go to multiple cinemas, right? Like you have lots of opportunities to go before COVID, right? You could go around to different cinemas all over Toronto. And and then you could be a part of the what do you call it? The special walk the line, what is that? If you're standing outside and when the celebs come by and um the red carpet,
Oh yeah, the red carpet. Yeah.
red carpet. So, you could be out there, but that won't be happening this year. So,
I don't even know of any theaters open in Toronto because they
mm-mm.
just got approved in the third
Mhm.
wave, right? Third
Mhm.
stage.
Mhm. And now, like, I mean, it's not going to be cost. It's going to be so exorbitant for them to be able to. You only, what is the max? Like 50 people allowed into a movie theater at the max. So wow, And
Well,
why do you want to go to the movie theater if you got a good TV? I got quad set up here. I'm quite happy with to get my own popcorn, watch it on demand. A whole lot of new films are being released on demand. I don't have any inkling that I want to go and see it on the big screen. You know?
we have a small theater, like we have a few small theaters, but the Broad Street Theater is doing a bunch of like little small independent movies that are been produced by New Orleans directors. So like Easy does it, and then like a Sister Tempest, like Easy does it actually has been on the festival circuit. The other one has not been released yet, so he's doing like a audience test screening to
Mm-hmm.
see how people react, to see if he needs to change anything up. So that's
Mm-hmm.
what
Mm-hmm.
one of the small theaters is currently doing. And I mean, they might at the max hold like 100 people.
Yeah, wow. See,
So
well, we got limited. Like we just got up like the last couple of weeks, and they just said that the maximum that you could go into a movie theater would be 50 people. Well, that doesn't
right. New
that won't
Orleans,
cut it for
yeah, New Orleans is at like 25 people. Well, they're just amounts of 50 people gathered, but they have to be socially distanced
yeah,
apart.
and that was the other
So,
thing. You have to be socially distanced, so that means
mhm.
I don't know.
Well, in Stony Creek, it was on the news that the theaters there, again, 50 people with masks, you had to
Yep.
reserve,
Oh, real
and
okay, yeah.
and then they weren't showing anything new because it hadn't come through yet, that they were going to be showing stuff like Jaws or, Star
Oh,
Wars
give
or
me a
Star
break.
Trek for $5. And then Tuesdays was going to be $2.99 Tuesdays.
Oh, they're going back to that again, are they? Okay.
But these old movies.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to see it on the big screen.
Yeah. Well, no thanks. I mean, and now a lot of these 20-year-olds or whatever, they're not wearing masks and
Right.
no thank you very much. I don't want to be around that. So nope, I'm happy with my good sized TV and the quad sound, and I'm happy just to stay right here. That's
And
why
you
I've got
can lay
this room.
down.
What's that?
You can lay down
I can lay down, I can chill, you know,
with
and
booze or whatever.
yeah, well, I do that too. I usually have a thing around my neck because I have some neck problems sometimes, and so, you know, I find I may snooze, put my head down, and the next thing I know, you know, I've missed something. So have to rewind from where I missed it in the program. Hmm.
But the horror writers conference, it's been changed a third time now to January. The StokerCon is now called StokerCon UK, but I'm not going there. So tomorrow I haven't heard anything about my refund, what's coming. So I have to email them and see what's going on, since now we're August. And you know, I think they're in their third stage of recovery. So maybe the hotels have gone back, and maybe I can get a refund for my hotel that I
Was
paid
that in
for.
London, UK?
It was in Scarborough on the East Coast,
Oh,
just below Scotland.
oh, lovely. Yeah.
But
How are
in
they? So they're at
January,
stage 3 now too?
yes, but
Okay.
in January it's way too cold. I'm not going to England in January, and who knows, you know, what the situation is going to be still like. So I asked for my refund back in March.
Wow.
You know, when they shut down the cruise ships. I knew as soon as they did the cruise ships, I knew that the planes were going next. And I said, you know, I'm not coming
Refund time,
to
please.
England,
Yeah.
because they
Wow.
were
But did
supposed
they
to have
give you
been.
any hassle? Like, did they give you any hassle to get your
Yes.
refund back?
Yeah, well, because they delayed it from April to August, and then when that wasn't happening, then they've now delayed it again to January.
Wow.
And they said I couldn't get my refund for the hotel until the hotels started up again. That they'd have to get the money from the hotels, and then
Wow.
there'd be a service charge through PayPal
Oh.
because it went through PayPal, and then my conference fee again, you know, delayed, and service charge through PayPal, but nothing. I haven't heard for quite a
Wow.
while. So I have.
Now, did you book your travel? So did you book your airline and
Oh
all that
yes,
jazz too? Oh, wow.
yeah, like I'm $6,000 out
Ooh.
because I was supposed to go on the bus trip, the 10-day bus trip
Mm-hmm.
to
To the
Belgium,
wineries?
Holland, and Luxembourg before the
Oh.
conference. And then the flight
Oh.
from Brussels to London,
Yeah.
I didn't get a refund or a credit or anything.
Oh, they wouldn't even offer you a credit, like
No,
saying that,
British
oh, that
Airways, nothing.
sucks.
So that's going through my travel insurance, which again, I
Yeah.
haven't heard from since April. So I got to call them tomorrow. And then Air Canada for my flights to Europe,
Yeah.
they've given me a 1-year credit, but
Yeah. I heard
who
someone else
knows?
doing that.
And
Yeah.
then I have the 2-year credit with the bus company. Like the only refund I've gotten is the California conference, the $200 US check I got last week. So that was the only good thing. And I
Well,
thought
the
if,
thing is that you got on this right away, like, you know, because I've heard like a lot of people are having, you know, they're not getting their full refund, or they're not even getting, like you said, like not even getting a credit, which that's bad business. That's not acceptable, you know.
but I think there's still flights going out,
Mm,
but you know, I wouldn't want to be on a plane these days for 8 hours and
Right.
you know, breathing the same air, especially how could you do that with a mask? And
exactly. Ooh. Yeah, that's difficult. And it's, yes, yeah, and especially an international flight, right? So Oh boy, that's awful.
Mhm.
And
But,
their customer service, like for the conference or anything, they haven't stepped up to, you know, say we'll try and do this for you, or you know, like you got an email from them, like, you know.
Well, that's why I'm going to be contacting them
Yeah.
tomorrow and saying I haven't heard anything since March. They've posted on their Facebook page hoping people will transfer all their stuff to January. But I told them in March, you know, I'm not coming.
Well, yeah. Even if they, you know, even if they transfer the conference to an internet, you know, either YouTube or whatever,
No, they
whatever
want to
there's.
do it live,
Oh,
January.
oh,
No, they
okay.
don't want
Well,
to.
anyways,
Yeah, they don't
but
want a digital one.
no, they don't want a digital one.
No.
Mm. But it's just, that's just so, that makes me annoyed because that's just bad business. That, you know, obviously their inner workings weren't as, you know, to be able to be able to offer refunds or whatever like that. That is just, as I said, that's just bad business. So
That's why the California conference, they said they were canceling quite soon. I think maybe even in April, they decided we're not going to do it. You know, and things weren't at the worst yet in
Right.
April, but they
yeah,
decided to cancel it.
wow. Yeah. I'm sure there'll be more of this going on, right? Until
Mhm.
everything shakes out.
Guys, I'm gonna have to be leaving because I got something I have to do over here.
Yeah,
No
I do
problem.
too, because I've had a full day as well. So thank you so much. Good to see you all.
Yes, John, thanks.
Okay,
Thanks for
next one
coming
in 2
by.
weeks, right,
Yeah,
Christine?
in 2 weeks.
All right, thank you. Include me.
Bye-bye.
Okay,
Nice to meet you.
Bye.
okay.